If you just got the AirPods Pro 2nd generation, there's probably a lot more to them that you did not even realize. So in this video, I'm going to show you the first 14 things that you need to do and some tips and tricks that you need to know to get the most out of your AirPods Pro. And this video will be beneficial if you've had AirPods before or if this is your very first set of AirPods. The first thing you need to do is choose the right ear tip size. So by default, the AirPods Pro come with the medium silicone tips on them, but in the box, you have this package right here, which comes with additional sizes. And new this year is the extra small size. So you should have a size in here for whatever your ear shape is. Try them out. If you need smaller, go down smaller to the small or extra small. If you need bigger, go up to the large. Just make sure that they fit all the way in your ears for maximum comfort and also maximum audio quality, because if they're sticking out, you're not going to have the best audio quality, and of course it's not going to be very comfortable and they will fall out a lot. Now, to take off the silicone ear tip from the AirPods, it's going to feel like you're breaking it, but all you need to do is pull on this silicone right here. So you're just going to take it out like this, just grab a hold of it and then just pull. You're going to have to use some force, and like I said, it's going to feel like you're breaking it, but you're not, trust me. And then you will see this right there, and you can just swap the different ear tips. And to put it on, just kind of line it up right here and then just push in. You may have to move it around a little bit and you will hear a little click. And to ensure it's in, just pull a little bit and you will see that it is in fact in. And again, to pull it off, just simply grab the silicone right here and then just pull. And you're not going to break it, even though it feels like you will. Now, the next thing you need to do is to get familiar with the new touch gestures. So new this year with the AirPods Pro 2 are volume controls from the AirPods themselves. So now you no longer need to control the volume on your phone. You could do it straight from your AirPods. All you use is this little groove. You'll notice a little groove here on the AirPods on the inside of the AirPod, and that is what you use to swipe up or down to change the volume. Up is to move the volume up, down is to move the volume down, and you'll notice that it moves in increments. So you will see the volume adjusting in increments. That way you can't accidentally turn the volume all the way up or all the way down. So it moves in increments. You will also hear a little sound in the individual ear tip or in the individual AirPod that you use to change the volume. The other controls you need to know is a simple press on the little groove right here is going to play or pause the music. A double tap is going to skip to the next song, and a tap and hold is going to change modes between noise cancellation and transparency mode, or you can have it set to invoke Siri. And to change what those controls do, if you go into your settings right here, you will see that now in iOS 16, your AirPods show up at the top of your settings. You no longer need to go into Bluetooth or another section. They show up right here. If you tap on that, you will see we have press and hold actions. So you can change this on a per AirPod basis. And while we're in this section, we do also need to change some basic audio settings. So if we go down a little bit, you will see that we have some settings here. So first off, we have adaptive transparency mode, which is brand new in iOS 16. That is my favorite feature. We'll talk about that in a minute. There is a toggle for that. We have automatic ear detection. I would recommend having that on. Connect to this iPhone. You can have this set to automatically or when last connected to this iPhone. Most people should use automatically right there. Now, if we go down, we do have microphone as well. So if you want your microphone to only be set for a specific AirPod, you can do that, or you can have it automatically switch. If you take out, an AirPod, you can have the other one be the microphone, or you could just have it set to a specific one. You have optimized battery charging, which will help ensure longevity for your AirPods Pro case. And then down here, we have accessibility. Now, if you go into this, you have some different settings in here as well. So we have the press speed. So if you would like the press speed on your AirPods, like when you toggle between modes or when you pause or skip to the next song, you could have that set to be slower. If you're not really fast at tapping them, you can slow that down to a slower or slowest speed along with the press and hold duration. Now we also have noise control with one AirPod. So this is turned off by default, but if you want to have noise cancellation in one AirPod, you can have that set right there. I would recommend turning that on. Otherwise, it just requires both AirPods to be in your ears to enable noise cancellation. Down here, we have spatial audio head tracking. I think this is a really cool feature. You can always change this in the control center. Like if we go down to the control center here and haptic press on our control center, you can see down here we have spatial audio. If you tap on that, you can change it between off, fixed, and head tracked. So you may as well just keep that on because you can always change it easily from the control center. You also have your tone volume, which will change the volume of sound effects made by the AirPods, like when you play or pause or, different things like that. You could change the volume of that. You do also have volume control. So you can see adjust the volume by swiping up or down on the sensor located on the AirPods Pro stem. You definitely want to make sure that is turned on. That is a great new feature that you definitely want to have turned on. And you also have default, longer, or longest. It says to prevent unintended volume adjustments, select preferred wait time between swipes. So if you don't want to, turn it all the way down or all the way up, really fast, you could have this set to be either longer or longest. I think default is fine just because, you'd have to really be doing it a lot to really switch the volume, change the volume drastically, but you can change that there as well. And if you want to see even more things you could change, you can go into audio accessibility settings and then to headphone accommodations. And in here, you can change this as well. So you can apply the tuned audio for vocal range, for brightness. You can change different things in here. You can have an audio setup, a custom audio setup. However, the next feature I'm going to show you kind of negates that, but you can change some additional settings in there as well, along with mono audio and just different random things in here as well that you might want to take a look at. Most of these are not going to apply to you guys though. So I would just stick to what I just showed you in the main settings page. Now, if we go back to our settings, one thing that I skipped over because I wanted to talk about it in depth is this right here, personalized spatial audio. So if you tap on that and then tap personalized spatial audio, this is going to take you to this screen right here. And if you tap on continue, it's going to make you take a picture of your ears. So you are going to need to take your AirPods out of your ears. And if you tap on continue, it's going to have you take a picture, a video, just like for Face ID, but this time of your head and your ears. And the reason for this is because Apple is going to use those images to create an algorithm to ensure that you have the best audio quality possible for your specific ears. And I think this is awesome. It actually made a difference for me in audio quality. So I would definitely recommend going ahead and setting up personalized spatial audio. Now, the next thing you need to do is try out adaptive transparency mode. So make sure this toggle is turned on. And then when you have your AirPods connected, go into your control center, haptic press on your volume control right here, and then go down to the bottom left and make sure you are on transparency mode. And adaptive is set by default. There's no separate option for adaptive. It is just called transparency mode down here. But try this out because thanks to Apple's H2 chip, the AirPods Pro 2 are going to automatically adjust the intensity of loud noises while you're in this transparency mode. So if you're outside and a fire truck passes by or construction workers are really loud and using machines, you will no longer have to worry about your eardrums getting damaged or just rushing to switch over to noise cancellation because it's getting too loud. And to ensure that you're not listening to things too loud, if you go into your health application and then go to browse and then down to hearing, you will see that your health application takes into account your volume that you listen to your AirPods at. So you can see my headphone audio levels are okay, and the past 12 months is okay as well. So it uses environmental sound levels and headphone audio levels. So if you go into here, it will show, the exposure, the sounds I've been exposed to over the past, hour, day, week, month, 6 months, or year. And you can really break it down in here to see your audio levels, which can be very beneficial. And to take this a step further, if you go into your settings here and then go to your control center, you want to make sure to add the hearing toggle right here. So if you don't have it in your control center, it'll be down here. Just tap on the plus and then it will show up right here in your control center and it will be this little ear. Now, if you tap and hold on that, this will actually show you the levels. So if you go to live listen, for example, it will show you your headphone level right there in real time. And just another quick tip, you could also turn on your background sounds right from here and adjust the volume and what the background sound actually is. So perfect if you want to fall asleep or kind of just have something playing in the background. Now, noise cancellation has also been greatly improved with the AirPods Pro 2, and Apple is claiming that it cancels out 2 times as much noise compared to the previous generation AirPods, the AirPods that came out in 2019. So the next thing you need to do is go ahead and test out that noise cancellation, because I can tell you right now, it is a nice improvement over the original AirPods. I've been using these for a week now, and I've noticed a difference in pretty much every environment. So definitely try that out. And again, an easy way to switch over to that is by tapping and holding on your AirPods stem, or just going to noise control right here and switching over to noise cancellation. And keep in mind, you can only have noise cancellation turned on if you have both AirPods in, or if you go down to the accessibility settings and have this toggle turned on for noise cancellation with one AirPod. The next thing you need to do is add a battery percentage widget to your lock screen. So if you tap and hold on your lock screen and go to customize and tap on your lock screen here, and you tap right here under the time, this is where you have the widgets that you can add. Now, I would recommend adding in a batteries widget right here that will show the battery level of your AirPods at all times. So you could have a big one or a small one. I personally usually like the small one. So if you tap on that and then tap on it again, you can change what actually shows there. So if you always want it to be your AirPods Pro 2 and none of your other batteries, you could turn off automatic and have it set to a specific device. So we're going to select the AirPods Pro 2 right there, click on the X, and there we go. We now have our AirPods Pro 2 showing the battery level right there. And you can see if you have a 14 Pro series, you can see the AirPods battery percentage on the always on display. So you could always see your battery levels without having to go into your settings or anywhere else on your phone. Now, the next thing you need to know is that on the AirPods Pro case itself, you will notice that we have speakers at the bottom. But not only do we have speakers, we also have the U1 chip inside of the AirPods Pro case. And this is going to allow you to track the case and the AirPods separately in the Find My application. And you could also play a noise with these speakers if you lose the case. So now an audible noise will come out of the AirPods Pro case and not just the AirPods themselves like on previous generations. So if we go into the Find My application and go to the Devices tab down here, you will see the AirPods Pro 2. And if we tap on that, you can see that it shows the left bud, the right bud, and also the case. And if we tap on the case, we have the option to play a sound, and here's what that sound sounds like. So it is pretty loud. And then we do also have the Find Nearby. If you tap on that, it will use the proximity to show you exactly where the case is located. Now, the next thing you need to do is consider getting a lanyard for your AirPods Pro. Now, I know it seems kind of unconventional, but this is going to be extremely useful if you travel a lot or if you just lose things a lot. So consider getting a lanyard and, put it through the AirPods Pro case. That way you could always have it attached to something, and it's going to be much less likely to be lost or stolen. So Apple does sell some third-party ones, and I will leave some of those linked down in the description below, but definitely at least consider getting a lanyard. The next thing you need to know about your brand new AirPods Pro 2 is that you can now charge them with an Apple Watch charger. So just like with the AirPods 3rd generation, we have that magnet in the back for MagSafe, and we can now charge these AirPods, the AirPods case, with an Apple Watch charger, which is nice. The next thing you need to know about the AirPods Pro 2 is that they now support Bluetooth 5.3. So Bluetooth 5.3 is said to improve sound quality, battery life, reliability, and also add support for multi-stream audio. Now, there's no setting to change or anything like that, but just know that you no longer have Bluetooth 5.0, you have an updated version, which is Bluetooth 5.3. That is definitely good for future-proofing as well. The next thing you need to know about the AirPods Pro 2 is that we have skin detection sensors right here on the inside of the AirPods Pro. And this is going to allow your AirPods to be a lot more precise with detecting when they're in your ears or not. If you had the AirPods Pro 1st generation, you probably had the issue where you would put your AirPods in your pocket and they'd be kind of close together and tight up against the AirPods. So it would feel like your AirPods were in your ears, and it would actually play the music or pause the music while in your pockets. Now, that won't happen with the AirPods Pro 2 because we have the skin detection sensor, which actually checks for heat as well as feeling like it's tight up against your ears. It's going to be a lot more precise with knowing, so it's not going to have accidental plays and pause when you put it in your pocket. Just keep that in mind. You're going to have a much better experience with these skin detection sensors. And then the final thing you need to know about the AirPods Pro 2 is that we have a button on the back of the case that is very important. So it's kind of hard to see because it is also white, but if you tap and hold on that, if you hold on this button, it will put the AirPods Pro in pairing mode. So this is useful if you want to connect these to like an Android or a Windows PC. You could put it in discovery or pairing mode to be able to show up on other devices as a Bluetooth device. Now, it's also good if you're having technical issues, like if it won't connect to your iPhone, if you just got a new iPhone or an iPad and you're having trouble connecting, if you tap and hold on that, that will reset them and put them back into pairing mode, and it should resolve your issues. So just know that's there, and that is very good to get out of any type of pickle you might be running into with these AirPods. So there you have it. Those are the first things you need to do and the first things you need to know about your AirPods Pro 2nd generation. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing because I have a lot more AirPods videos to come.